Brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And I'm talking today about surprising new things that I've learned from living in Brazil, okay? Both positive and negative. So I want y'all to stick with me for a while as we go through this because I think you may find it very interesting and it'll give you some insight on what's really going on. All right. Now, what I'm demonstrating right here with the photo before this one is the difference in the parties, the gatherings. One thing, the first thing I've learned is you're less likely to be at a party like this that is this representative than the previous picture. There's a reason for that. All right, so before we get into it, let me greet everybody real quick. Geworden hardu dag ola oitrebang vasis los bonjour mes mi kedu bawani konnichiwa ni hao ni ama sani vonani jambo herbargani assalamu alaikum and shalom. All right. So as we get into this and break this down, all right, I want y'all to just pay close attention to just an epiphany and understanding and why you'll or how you will understand my conclusions at the end of this video. All right, so with that said, let me remind y'all of this. Don't forget to get those thumbs up, share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and let's get into the breakdown. All right. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is that pay attention to the bodies of these women and this brother. Now, pay attention to the bodies of these women. And this goes to one of the first things that I've learned. The ones who are less likely to put art on their bodies are the ones whose fathers were of African descent, almost all the way down the line. Or, listen to this, or the ones who were not desiring to be part of the Anglo descent. All right. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to that. Pay close attention to that. Even amongst my friends that stay in the favelas, shout out to Vila Aliança and shout out to Novalanda. Okay. Even my friends that stay in the favelas, this is something that I've noticed. I've noticed also that with the older generation, you don't see body art. And in the younger generation, where you see it, it is with those that are not, it is with those who desire Anglo acceptance in place of their own identity. Now, in Brazil, me and the brother was discussing in the live, Brazil has a national identity. So when women are claiming to be Afro, the ones that are doing this are less Afro by design, and they would give up their melanin in a minute and make sure that their daughters and sons have lack thereof as a result of the conditioning by their mamas based on things that was told to their grandmothers in the early part of the 1900s. And that is this. And please understand this. Even the Brazilians will be honest about this. The so-called Afro-Brazilian moms and grandmoms taught their daughters, because this is what the white man said, that if you want to improve your race, marry a white man to get rid of your melanin. In other words, the only way to improve your race is to eliminate it. There is something that we as Afro people do not understand about the importance of who the father is, the importance of the Afro man, and why the Caucasian man fear the Afro man so much. And to all the simps running around talking about, oh, the man needs to watch where he put his seed, they've fallen into the devilish game. And I'll explain that now. One of the things that they understood, and I want you to pay attention to this. Again, pay attention to the bodies. All right? And you'll see no art, right? One woman is from Argentina in the pink, and you know that is my ex in the white bathing suit. For those of you who do know. All right? And no body art, but understand this. It is understood that when we have relations, Hercules, y'all know what I mean. Bow chicka wow wow, right? That we replace the melanin that was taken away or lost. And the Caucasian, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, wrote the ISIS papers explaining this, right? The Caucasians are afraid of annihilation, but it isn't annihilation. It is the idea of bringing them back into the collective. But as I was having a discussion with someone, once they create a son in any woman, that seed, because the son passes along the corruption of the father, it's corrupted all the way out. In other words, it's always been the seed that's been most important. All right. If a man has a son and a daughter, the daughter can change things by who she create a child with. So if she takes on the seed of a melanated man, that melanin comes back. But that son, no matter who he gets with, passes that regressive seed all the way down the line, so long as he's having sons. And in this, when these sons grow up, they grow up to be in conflict with the truly melanated man. Because not only do they see us as competition, but they fear us like their daddies do. And remember, sons follow their dads. In our culture, where we've been brainwashed into having sons follow their mom, It has weakened us, and you see it in everything we do. And this is why the Afro community in the United States is so decimated. And this is why the Afro community in Brazil is a little bit stronger than ours, even though we have more stuff. We have more stuff, but that Afro community has more morality. That's the other thing I learned. When you go out, another thing, you will find that, hence, when I was talking about my ex in the previous, right? You will find that women like this is the type of women that will desire the Afro male, especially from the U.S. All right, and this whole section of women right here is who you have a chance with as an Afro male. All right, and these are women that may approach you, and the biggest key, if I've learned nothing else, the biggest key is language. Language. Game is not required. The ability to financially support, the ability to make decisions, the ability to stand for yourself against the woman. Oh yes, the other thing I learned is they will challenge you. They won't ever challenge your authority as a man. But they'll get over on you. They'll ask you for stuff sweet in that feminine voice. And a lot of brothers give up a lot of cash and don't know how they're going home broke. All right? And so basically, and if they can play you like that, they will always play you like that. There's one thing, like, people think I'm nice there, but they know I'm not a pushover. They know I want to share, and they'll take advantage of it. They will take advantage of it. The other thing I learned, they will take advantage of it. When you look at some of my videos, and I'm walking through the neighborhood with my friends from Novalanda, when I'm passing out the soccer balls, like, to the teams, right? You will note that the tallest one always begging me for money, rubbing his belly. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Some of the times he is, but some of the times he ain't. He just, right? One time, they thought I didn't have any money. Well, I didn't have money, but I had my credit cards. They thought I ran out of money and couldn't pay for an Uber. All right, and in this, they thought I didn't have any money. I just ran out of money. The main dude begging me for money pulls a wad of money out his pockets and said, how much do you need? I could give, not loan, I could give you some money. I could give you some money. You talking about a dude that almost cried in the Uber. I explained to him I didn't need no money. My stuff is set up. You know, I already paid for the Uber with my card. I just wanted to leave the guy a little tip, because I like to leave tips in straight cash. All right. So when you make friends, yeah, they think you got more than them, because you do, right? So they would rather use your stuff than their stuff, because they got to survive off of their stuff. But the other thing I learned, that if you're out, the brothers and any other friend that is non-melanated that you have will be there for you. I want y'all to think about that. A couple of things happened. I was hit by a motorcycle, so there is no insurance. When you go to the hospital, you paying in cash, so make sure you have it. It's going to be cheaper than here in the United States, but just make sure, all right, you have it. All right. But the other thing is, not only are you less likely to make a friend of a melanated sister, and what I mean by friend, that if you're stuck out, this is the last person you could go to. Because this is my whole time going back and forth to Brazil. When I met up with a melanated Afro-Brazilian, she was only trying to use me. Didn't want no part of a relationship. Goes back to, if you want to improve your race, you give all you got to a Caucasian man. All right? But they see that we are well-to-do, but they say we're going to use them. Now, here's the other thing. This thing right here with the uniform and everything, this was basically things that men did. And then the women decided, being Afro-Brazilian, who only like Caucasian men, that they're going to steal that from the men. So the other thing that I learned is that, and this came out in my live, that the Brazilian women watched the Americans and they are destroying their culture, like the Afro women, the Brazilian Afro women. And I'm saying this, they're taking their culture from the men, taking it as their own, and making it all exclusive black women. And who did they get this off of? They learned to be this way off of the black women in the United States. But here's the problem. The men are starting to leave them alone as well. All right. That's a hard lesson to learn. And as we discuss this, in the culture of Brazil, where it's one identity, you have to look and understand that this was intended. Now, the only place that you could be really, really Afro is in the favelas that's run by the so-called men or gangsters. Period. That's the only place you're going to be Afro. Which gets back to my original point. I want to leave you with this thought as well. So when you look at this, right, Brazil, when it comes to the Afro culture, it is hyper matriarchal. Period. Everything Afro that was inclusive of both men and women back in the day is no longer that way. So many things that they do now are exclusive black Brazilian women to the detriment of the men. The only time that is not so is when you are able to go out to these parties. But outside of the parties, when you're looking at culture, it is the Afro-Brazilian women that are trying to lead everything when it comes to culture. And the men, for whatever reason, are giving up their spot, except for in the favelas. And the reason being, the favelas are hyper violent. And while women may join men in the fight, they can't lead that. Understand, they can't lead that. But still, with all of that said, I would still say that your chances are better of finding a good life in Brazil, given all of that, because of the wide range of choices that you have, than with these queens, QEANs, in the United States. To all of the dudes depolicing, they could go to hell in a handbasket. All right? Because even with all that I've learned, the good and the bad, when you make friends over there, they're your friends. Yeah, they're going to use you until they see that you're in their same situation, and they won't let you go down like that. They want you to prosper so that they can prosper. All right? And those that prosper more than you, they'll use that to help you out. In other words, everybody helps everybody in that friend group. That's something that is sorely missing in the United States, where people just use the hell out of you until they destroy you. With that said, I'm out.